Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. We are not going to be going over aliens and spacecrafts tonight, okay? If this is your first time tuning in, I would have you know that we discuss everything from spirituality to religion, okay? Everything in between. Psychology, science, social events. We try to stay away from politics unless it comes up and it's a conversation that can be related back to the spiritual aspect of things and so on and so forth. Now, before we get into our topic, which is going to be about the menstrual cycle and some of the minerals or elements that we lose during said cycle. First, the creator wanted me to say that a lot of us are experiencing warfare because of the people that we are having sex with. In a lot of cases, if you have a spiritual tie to anyone that you've had sex with and work is being done on them, if you don't cut the cord, or the connection between the two of you, then you're going to get the effects of their warfare, especially if the cord is a strong, thick cord, or if it's like a short cord, right? Meaning that you guys are closer in the physical aspect of things, right? It's really, really hard to determine if the warfare is your own, if you are still engaging in sex with the person, or if it's someone that like you're married to or you have children with. We've had the discussion several times over, right, of how sex is the gateway to the spiritual world. I mean, this is how life is created, right? Via sex. Well, in most cases. So it should be easy for us to be able to fathom how important sex actually is, at least to this dimension, right? Now, tonight it's going to be kind of short. I didn't want to just ramble on. And I believe we covered this in very small parts. Well, at least the relationship between hormones and minerals, right? So, and this was actually like a piggyback off of a conversation. And I thought it was important because it does get us back to the periodic table a little bit, right? Now, obviously, we know that when women are menstruating, they are losing blood. When you are losing blood, you are losing energy. When you're losing energy, that means you are losing nutrients and minerals and things like that you need, that are vital to your life, okay? Obviously, iron is connected to the blood. That is actually the most common deficiency in women, okay? Most women lose about 1 milligram of iron per cycle. You can go ahead and look up the foods that you need to consume to replace your iron loss. Now, we've gone over some of these minerals or these elements, right? So, along with iron, during the cycle, a woman loses potassium, magnesium, not to be confused with manganese, zinc, vitamins B6, C, K, E, and D, a host of omega-3 fats, as well as calcium. Okay, so these are the main elements or minerals that the woman loses during her menstrual cycle. And it's very important that you find foods that are plentiful in these things that you need to replace. Now, there are different cycles, phases during the menstrual cycle, and we all know, right, what it does as far as science goes, right? It prepares our body for pregnancy. It is what cleanses us. It's a way for the body to naturally heal itself and get rid of toxins, okay? Now, that's the scientific aspect. Now, if you want to go over to the spiritual side, it's again related to a cleansing and a healing process, okay? We also have to pay attention to our chakras because these are ports of energy. So if you're having any issues with your menstrual cycle, whether you're bleeding too much, not bleeding enough, your hormones are out of whack, it's usually your sacral and your root chakras that you need to align to have a normal menstrual cycle, okay? Now, there are different phases within this month, right, that the female body experiences. So you have the menstrual cycle. This is the from the first to the last day of the menstrual cycle, whatever that may look like. Not every woman bleeds for 5 to 7 days. Some women bleed for 2 days. Some women bleed for 12 days, okay? This cycle looks different for everyone, okay? And then you have this period where you go through, I'm sorry, because I wanted to read my notes, but then you go through the follicular cycle, which is before the egg is released, and you would want to replace choline, anything dealing with the liver. So if you want to flush the liver or something that will support the liver in strengthening it, and flushing your body out with antioxidants, right? Because of the things that you are losing during that cycle. Then you have the ovulation period, right? This is when the egg is released, okay? You want to fill up on zinc, vitamin E, and then those omega-3s, okay? Then we have the last cycle before the menstrual cycle comes back around. And this is the luteal cycle. You want to replace the magnesium, the iodine, and the potassium, okay? This is after the egg is released, and this is when you're coming back around to your period starting back, okay? Now, these period cycles are related to different seasons, different phases of the moon, and different archetypes, right? Women are even said to be more intuitive during their menstrual cycles, and depending on the time of month. So it's like a really spiritual thing to have your ments during a transition of the moon, no matter what it is, whether it's a new moon, a half moon, a third quarter, it doesn't matter. This is an earthly thing. It's been going on. You can look into the biological as well as the spiritual reasons, okay? Now, these are also cycles that are related to different archetypes of females. So there are 4 archetypes of a female. So you have the virgin or the maiden, aka the maiden. You have the mother type. You have the enchantress type, and then you have the wise one or the crone, okay? Those 4 archetypes are also related to the ways in which your cycle decides to function as a singular function, right? The lunar cycles that are related are pretty much based on, you know, your hormones, the lineage that you come from, the environment that you're in, the diet that you have, your exercising cycle, your sleeping cycle. Are you stressed? All of these things are connected to your hormones, which are indicative of what type of menstrual cycle you're going to have. So, and of course, depending on who you ask, different things are going to be said about the woman during her menstrual cycle, like what it means scientifically and spiritually, right? That's going to vary by culture and religion. Even if you ask like a doctor in India, and then you ask a doctor in America, and then you ask a doctor in, you know, the UK, you're going to get a different response for what it means spiritually, and then you're going to get a similar response for what it means scientifically, right? Because the women in those regions have different biological makeups, they have different diets, they have different genetic makeups. So all of these things are connected to your lifestyle. Okay, your lifestyle is very important. All right, so you want to make it your business to really just stay on top of all of the things that can affect your hormones, right? So that can look different for every woman. Not every woman has the same issue with her cycle as others, right? Some have bad cramps, some have too long days, some have too short of days, some they don't like the way that it smells, some others they don't like the way that it looks. All of this is connected to your lifestyle. Spiritually, you want to be able to hone in on the things that are not functioning properly. You want to get to the root of it. And most of the times, if it's something that doesn't have an explanation, it's generational, right? The cause is really hard to find. It's not something that you can just go out and get like an explanation or an answer to, okay? This segment is not going to be like a 15-minute segment. I'm sorry. I had a few things going on today, and I want to get this up before 12 o'clock because that means that I'm going to be missing a segment for today if I do not, okay? But yeah, make sure you understand why women are weak, why women have attitudes, why women are moody, because all of these things are related to hormones. All of these different elements or minerals, right? What some of us or others may refer to them as, are essential. Make sure you know your archetype as a woman, or you know the type of woman that you're dealing with, the type of archetype, okay? You can look all of this up. I'm not pulling this out of thin air. This is a thing, all right? And this may go ahead and explain the chocolate and the chips and the junk, because you can get a variety of these things from those foods, all right? But I'm gonna end it here. I do love you guys. I hope all is well. Hope y'all are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, sipping on your own tea because it's free, and getting your rest. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace.